but I wanted to do Joshua Graham because Joshua Graham might be my favorite character in all of New Vegas.
He's a really interesting character, and I think talking about both Graham and Salt Upon Wounds is a really good strategy for this episode.
We might touch on Salt Upon Wounds a little bit, but it's mostly going to just be... did you know Salt Upon Wounds' glove does, like, poison damage?
Mm-hmm.
That it's like, that's the salt in the wound?
Yeah, the poison.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. I didn't know that. But yeah, I want to do Graham. Graham being the biggest kind of, I guess, person in the DLC. He's not really the bad guy, even though he is, in a sense, the bad guy. You kind of get to see his redemption arc, kind of. You can kind of see him fall off.
Or you can just shoot him in the head.
Yeah, I mean, you could. New Vegas is a game where you can just kill everybody, so you could just walk in, slaughter everybody, and leave. So let's get right in again. And when I do these large,
as it was intended,
when I do these large, big characters that I want to make sure that they're given the respect they deserve, I read right off the wiki, and I get all of my lore off of Fallout.fandom.com. Joshua Graham, formerly known as the Malpass Legate, and in folk legend as the Burn Man, is a Mormon missionary and co-founder of Caesar's Legion and its first legate. Graham led Caesar's troops to a humiliating defeat at the First Battle of Hoover Dam. Afterwards, to show that failure was unacceptable regardless of rank, Caesar had Graham executed, ordering him covered in pitch, lit on fire, and tossed into the Grand Canyon. Graham survived. However, he left Caesar's Legion behind him. He is the acting leader of the Dead Horses in 2281. I don't know if it comes up directly in this wiki here. I kind of skimmed through it quick to get a feel for it before we started recording. But one of my favorite quotes about him, actually, here it is. This is
it's a good one.
Is I survived because the fire inside me burned brighter than the fire around me. I fell down into a dark I almost said chasm, a dark chasm, but the flame burned on and on. He's a dude who runs on spite, but like religious spite.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he's got spite and Jesus.
Yeah, like he's like a dark paladin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joshua Graham was born in New Canaan, a Mormon community established in the remains of the city of Ogden, Utah. He grew up in peaceful times, learning the trade of a missionary and an interpreter. Due to his natural aptitude for languages, in 2246, Graham received a mission call for his sacred service to spread the good news to the people of the wasteland. By the time he left his home, he was already fluent in several tribal dialects. His knowledge made him a natural choice when the followers of the apocalypse asked for assistance in their expedition to the Grand Canyon. Graham departed Canaan, following the Long 15 and Highway 89 towards Arizona, meeting Calhoun and Edward Sallow, Caesar, on the way set by the followers to provide education to the local tribes and study dialects. Now, this is a guy who is like, he's very much just like, he's a good guy. At this point in time, he's a good guy.
Yeah, like, he's not that bad of a guy. He's just kind of like along for Caesar's ride.
Well, not even like at this point in 2246, when he meets Calhoun and Edward Sallow, he's just a follower. Like, he's just trying to teach other tribes how to, I don't want to say be good, but like how to read and how to write and how to grow things and certain cultural things and whatnot. Like, he's just doing this to kind of do this. Not
like,
do
that's
this,
just kind
like
of what he was brought up with.
Yeah. I want to just see something quick. I want to see Highway 89. Highway 89, or Route 89, or just the 89, is an old freeway that runs across Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. Highway 89 starts in Flagstaff, Arizona, and runs north to the Grand Canyon. Once it enters Utah, it passes over the Colorado River and curves west through the Grand Staircase, continuing north near Zion National Park. And should I read Long 15 as well?
If you want, you don't really have to.
I just like giving the little basis because there's a lot of people that listen that aren't in the U.S.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what fucking Highway 15 is. Sorry, I said a bad word.
In the pre-war, Interstate 15 was used by the New California Republic in the pre-war. Okay. Then why is the NCR? Whatever. It's a minor military base and a checkpoint for travelers through the Mojave. That's about it, but it is a highway. Back to Graham. Around 2247, the Blackfoots, a tribe, were the first stop in the canyon. Joshua proved to be a capable interpreter, though eventually the hospitality of their hosts were replaced with hostility. Whether it was an error in translation that Joshua made or some unrelated misunderstanding, the Blackfoots decided to hold an entire expedition for ransom. This was a problematic situation as the Blackfoots were at war with 7 other tribes in the Grand Canyon and were clearly losing. Against Calhoun's objections, Edward Sallow decided to take charge of the situation. He taught the tribes how to care for their weapons, make explosives, work as a combat unit, with Graham continuing to serve as an interpreter and the first war leader of the Legion. Graham was so indispensable to Sallow's plan, who turned the disorganized tribe into a capable fighting force, training in small unit tactics, weapons use, and maintenance, and manufacturing of arms and weapons. So here's a question.
Really interesting.
Okay.
That he transitioned basically over from here is just we're all about knowledge and helping people. And then it kind of went more towards the militaristic and learning how to make weapons. I just think it's a really interesting shift in kind of philosophy, I guess.
You say that, I'm very curious about something. In the timeline, what I love about the Fallout Wiki is there is just something that just says timeline, and you can just see everything within the timeline.
You can see the timeline.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see on this, Myrnon. That's never not funny to me.
It's funny.
EDWARD. Edward Sallow. There's only one Edward Sallow that pops up here. COMENTA. Nope. I want to know when he finds the commentary. If there's an actual time on that, because
is there a time?
That's what I'm looking for. Hold on. We're going to cut right here. It went right to that. COM. How do you spell it? COM.
Oh, I don't even know.
2246. Okay. So Kaiser finds it in finds the commentary in 2246, meaning that he is reading from this and learning about the original Kaiser and learning about these tactics and learning about, I believe the commentary is about a battle or several battles that the real Kaiser fought.
Like the Caesar.
Yeah.
The dressing.
Yeah. Like the OG. I don't know if it's Julius or Augustus. Who's the first one? Julius?
July comes before August. Yes.
So that's what I was thinking. Okay. With his teaching and Graham's skills, the Blackfoots, and I hate that it's not Blackfeet, but the Blackfoots prevailed over the over the other tribes, becoming the nucleus of the Legion. Graham became his commander, training the forces of the fleeing army and leading them into battle. His leadership position soon entailed retaliatory raids and terrorizing local tribes prior to assimilation into the Legion. When Sallow crowned himself Caesar, Graham became his first legate, the Malpass legate, which, if I remember correctly, roughly translates to something like the burn lands soldier, or like the soldier of like the desolate lands or something.
Let me check.
Can you check? I'm going to keep reading. For 30 years, he held Caesar conquered the tribes of Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, forging the Legion. Though he was neither a particularly brilliant strategist nor typically flexible, his menace and brutality were infamous. The atrocities he committed made him feared by friend and foe alike. He was dangerous, unpredictable, and above all else, legendary for being impossible to kill, even by NCR Rangers. But all great men eventually end. For Graham, that end came at the Battle of Hoover Dam. Now, did you find anything on the word Malpass? Malpace? I don't know how it's pronounced.
Working on that.
I'm working on it. So what I want to talk about real quick with Graham is that what I think is so fascinating is he's a man of God, right? And he's very much like, we're going to get into it later because it's my favorite quote from Graham ever, but I don't. Let me find it verbatim. I pray for the safety of all the good people that come to Zion, even the Gentiles, but we can't expect God to do all the work. That's probably my favorite, but why can't I find it? The one where he says that
Malpass literally translates to bad country.
Okay, so and legate is
basically Badlands, yeah.
Yeah, so like the soldier of the Badlands. Like how fucking tight is that? Yeah. But he's a guy who now, and it's like one of the other than we can expect God to do all the work. The thing he's known for saying is I don't enjoy killing, but when done righteously, it is a chore just like any other. So is that him justifying?
And I think it's really funny because the word, like I think it's etymology of.
I think etymology is bugs.
Well, then the etymology of the word legate actually has root in like being a member of like the clergy or like a holy group.
Really?
So he was like the holy soldier of the Badlands. Like,
holy
it was
shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, that's also something that I don't feel like is really talked about, is how Caesar's Legion is the cult of Mars. Like, they don't really talk about the religious aspect of it that much in game, I don't feel like. But I think what's interesting is he's a person. So this is the question of are bad people born or are bad people made? You know what I mean?
They're made.
So did he become addicted to the killing? Because even at the end of the DLC, when he just wants to kill the Whitelegs. Like he like needs to get it out of him. Like he needs to get that murder out of him.
That's just like the thing to do.
Like he's like he's almost like dog and God in a sense, where God gets hungry and dog comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's just like you kind of flip a switch and you get the Burned Man as opposed to getting Joshua Graham.
Well, no, but that's the thing. The Burned Man and Graham are the same person, because even though you're dealing with the Burned Man at that point, he still needs to satisfy that I need to kill.
That's the legate inside him.
You know, but what is he? Is it because of brainwashing? Like, that's what I think is so interesting about him.
I think it's just like my personal take on it is that it's just like reverting to what you know and what's comfortable.
Okay.
Like, you've been a monster for so long that it's just kind of what you do.
Okay. Caesar's obsession with the uniting the wasteland under the banner of his legion resulted in him attacking the new California Republic in 2277. After a series of skirmishes east of the Colorado River, Caesar's 68 tribes attacked the dam. So this is a thing that doesn't get touched upon in here, but we touched upon it before. Caesar even with ancient Rome, the way that the way that ancient Rome kind of operated was they took you in and then they destroyed your culture. So the only thing you were
assimilation.
Were Roman. Thank you. Yeah, that's the word for it. Assimilation. So
hold on, wait. Can I?
Yeah.
Just one sec. If the Legion were to assimilate the NCR, how many tribes would that make?
I think it's 70 something at the beginning of.
I was trying to lead the horse to water here.
Oh,
because you said that there were 68 tribes before. So how many would it be if
it would be 69? Thanks, Olive.
Nice.
Thanks. But I want to say it's like 78. Like he gets like another 10 before the next one.
So freaking many.
Yeah. And then it depends on if he takes in like he at the end of the game, if he wins, he slaughters the fiends, he takes in the Khans, but they're stripped of everything. What else is there? He does the
boomers.
I think he stays away from them because he knows he can't touch them.
Because they got that artillery.
They're like one of the few that is like allowed to kind of pass. Like he knows like he's like, I can deal with guns, I can't deal with bombs of that size. But Caesar's 68 tribes attack the dam. Graham technically was legendary at this point, despite efforts by both NCR Rangers and 1st Recon east of the Colorado River, and 5 kill reports on Graham. The legate remained a menace at large. However, Graham underestimated the enemy while overstimulating his own skills as a commander. He deployed his legionaries in the usual fashion, trying to defeat the Republic as he fought the tribes out east. Chief Hanlon anticipated this move, drawing the legionaries into a trap. As General Lee Oliver's soldiers held the line, Rangers and Army sharpshooters targeted their commanders. When the legate ordered his elite forces to push through and pursue, Rangers decimated his officers and sowing chaos in the ranks. The Rangers and the 1st Recon sharpshooters retreated to Boulder City. Elements of the
That
army...
sentence was the worst written sentence I've seen on the wiki.
And this wiki is known for having some bad fucking sentences, but I actually had to put 2 of them together. And I'm dyslexic. Elements of the army and the Rangers kept the Legion engaged long enough to allow the most experienced legionaries to enter the city, and when they did, the Republic's forces pulled out of the city. Once more of them were safe, soldiers and Rangers trapped behind Legion lines had to be abandoned. They triggered explosives packed into the building in advance. Chief Hanlon's plan went off without a hitch. The exploding buildings acted as giant fragmentation bombs, killing and maiming most of the legionaries and leaving the rest in a state of shock. The army and Rangers followed the detonation with a corner attack, destroying the Legion on the western side of the Colorado River, and forcing the Malpass legate to retreat from the dam. Flanking attacks from Camp Gulf and other camps in the Mojave were simply repulsed. Were similarly repulsed. The Malpass legate returned to Caesar in shame. To demonstrate that failure was not tolerated even at the highest of ranks, like I said this before, he was covered in pitch, lit on fire, and thrown into the Grand Canyon for leading the Legion into its worst defeat in Legion history. That's an awfully written sentence.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of I lost my sentence. Huh.
Look, just be happy that I don't talk to or treat you like this, because if I was like, yo, Laura's got to get up, and I just didn't go up, I didn't light you on fire and push you into a hole.
Yeah, you never pushed me into a hole. This is the most, like, incredible way to deal with a disagreement amongst workers. Like,
I mean, I
like,
it's
imagine,
wrong.
like, you went to work and your coworker, like, just forgot to, like, closed the door or like what came back from break without a mask on, and you decided to light them on fire and push them in a pit.
Yeah. Just, okay. You know what has to happen now.
Okay.
But I get
also,
this.
he was at fault for losing Hoover Dam in New Vegas.
Why do you think
so that's
he
a
lost
little bit
Hoover
bigger
Dam?
than like forgetting to like put your nose on?
Like, what do you think happened? Do you think he just got overwhelmed?
Yeah, he just had a little panic attack.
No, seriously,
and
like,
then,
what do you think? Why do you
failed.
think he lost? It's
don't
kept
know.
ambiguous, but like,
from what we read, he's capable, and he's really smart, but
yeah.
I guess he just wasn't as good of a military leader as people thought. He wasn't as tactical as people thought.
So this is a little bit into the burn man himself. Graham survived the fall. He woke up the following days burned and broken, but still alive. Eventually, the fallen legate crawled out of the north edge of the Grand Canyon and began his journey home. It took him 3 months to reach New Canaan. 3 months of suffering. Graham's immunity to modern medicine made it impossible for him to dull the pain, and he had to replace the bandages covering his burned, twisted skin each day to prevent infection. But he persevered. Sorry, thank you. He persevered, and upon...
I mess that one up all the time.
Dude, you know what it is? I wasn't following it. Like, I keep the top of the page as like my guide because I don't want to put my finger on the screen. And just, that dyslexia kicks in. He persevered, and upon reaching New Canaan, he was welcomed in like one of his own, like a prodigal son returning home. In his eyes, his second baptism at the hands of the Legion and subsequent survival transformed him. He actually does say that he was baptized once in water and a second time in flame. Rekindled his faith and removed his pride and vanity. And the 30 years of separation, atrocities, and shame were irrelevant to his family. Legends of the Burn Man walking the wastes began to spread and eventually reached the ears of Caesar. He forbade legionaries of speaking Graham's true name under the threat of death. D'Amato? See, that's what I like about Latin, is that it's... like you read it and it's as is.
Oh, it's a link to the Caesar's diary.
Oh, wow.
Terms.
I didn't know this existed.
It stands for condemnation of memory, meaning we don't talk about this shit anymore. Like, yeah, it happened, but we don't talk about it. It's kind of like how white people treat slavery in America.
That's funny. I'm just kind of going through this quick right now, and I like valet, his farewell. Heil. Slave is heil, meaning take care of yourself. Salve. Or heil. Wait, no, whatever. All right, this is something we can do at another time, because fucking, I love the way they talk. So how do you pronounce that again?
Oh, the term?
Yeah. Dominito... No.
Damnatio Memoriae.
I wish I knew how to speak Latin.
Best I can get.
Dude, I wish I knew how to speak Latin so I could just walk into a church and be like, yeah, just to fuck with people. Your mother sucks
just
cocks
like,
in hell.
You know what? Like, just like speaking a dead language is like the most sounds like the most interesting thing to me.
Yeah, like, and especially if two people know it, you could walk into a place and just say something in Latin. Okay, so only enhancing the myth. This that he put in only enhanced the myth of the Burn Man and issued a kill order to his Fumentari. Some of the higher ranking, I believe the Fumentari are actually just assassins, right?
I think so. Yeah, they're elite squad.
Yes. Yeah. Includia, which I could talk about Includia for fucking years.
He's a great character.
Includia should have been the legate. If Includia was the legate and Caesar dies of a brain tumor, the Legion would still win. But we could talk about that later. This was a kill order put on to his Fumentari. Whenever wherever he was, his agents were to find and destroy him. For his part, Graham decided to forgive Kaisar, in keeping with the idea that you hate the sin and not the sinner. Graham is acutely aware of Kaisar's desire to see him dead, thanks to the sheer number of Fumentari and assassins that came looking for him. So maybe the Fumentari are not. Maybe they're just... You know what's really cool about the Praetorians?
What about them?
They're handpicked by Kaisar.
Mm-hmm.
And when he wants a new Praetorian, like when he sees someone with promise, he goes, pick the weakest one of my Praetorians and beat them to death.
You could have their seat.
You have their seat if you can beat them to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking...
Imagine being just replaced in that manner.
But that's what I'm saying. Kaisar puts fucking numbers on the board.
I know, right?
Like, he doesn't do what's
imagine
fair.
If,
He doesn't
you
do what's
wanted
right.
to get a new co-host and you sent someone to murder me and take my spot.
Kyle just shows up with tears in his eyes and nunchucks.
Like,
he's like, I'm
nothing
sorry.
personnel, kid.
By 2281, Graham's past finally caught up with the fallen legate. The White Legs whipped into a frenzy and equipped by Ulysses, attacking New Canaan while Joshua was away from the city. In a bid to integrate themselves with the Legion by destroying the tribe of Canaan and Graham along with it, survivors scattered into the wasteland, with the bulk of them escaping into Zion Canyon. In order to defeat them and the tribes that made their home in the canyon, Graham assumed the position of acting war chief amongst the dead horses, while Daniel, another missionary and survivor from New Canaan, joined up with the Sorrows. While Daniel and Graham would fight, delaying action to allow the Sorrows and dead horses to safely evacuate Zion and lose White Legs in the wilderness, Graham desires nothing more than to bring God's justice to those who would bring harm onto others. The desire for vengeance on those who butchered his people, killing all who could not run away fast enough. Let's read that again. The desire for vengeance on those who butchered his people, killing all who could not run away fast enough. The elderly, the ill, children, those who stopped to help, burns within him a fire soaked further by his own personal demons and desire for redemption. It is only fitting that he breaks them in Zion in a natural temple and monument to the glory of his God. This dude, he's fucked in the fucking head. Like,
but people love him. They eat him up like reality TV.
He's my favorite I think he might be my favorite bad guy in like the entire series, next to like Frank Horrigan and the Master.
Who's your favorite bad guy in fiction?
In fiction, I want to say the Joker. I feel like that's kind of an easy cop-out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Alex DeLarge from A Clockwork Orange is up there in more of like the sense of you get to see him be a piece of shit, and then you get to see him kind of repent in a way, and then kind of be a piece of shit again. I'm always rooting for the bad guy.
Oh, we all are. My favorite bad guy ever is Handsome Jack.
Dude, I don't get Handsome Jack's appeal.
I like him.
I thought he was so annoying.
To each their own.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. Shit, that's a really good question. Ellie? Joel?
Joel. He's not a bad guy. He's just an asshole.
We could talk about this later, but he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Satan. Joshua Graham is this is a little bit on the personality.
If anyone
of Graham
edits Vince saying "bad guy" into the song by what's her face
Billie
with the
Eilish?
green hair, yeah, that would be very much appreciated. Meme makers, do your shit.
Joshua Graham is a a conflicted man, originally a Mormon missionary from Ogden. He steadily betrayed everything he had for the he betrayed everything he held dear in service to Kaiser, caught up in the maintenance of brutal nomadic army and reconditioned tribes, and the conquest out east. Graham slowly became a monster. Small compromises turned increasingly sinister and brutal, while Graham rationalized them as making the best of a bad situation and doing what needed to be done.
Making the best of a bad situation.
When life hands you lemons, you make beef stew, right?
When life hands you lemons, you kill anyone in your sight.
You kill anyone who couldn't run fast enough. In the end, however, he and Kaiser had built a society on the foundation of fear and brutality, while Graham turned into a monster by 3 decades of warfare and atrocities. Graham eventually believed his own lies and rationalizations, but when the defeat at Hoover Dam came, he lost all momentum. Abandoned by Kaiser and his people, the fallen legate was forced to reflect on his life and face the monster that he had become. Unlike most, Graham chose not to blame Kaiser, but himself, and journeyed to seek forgiveness from the people he abandoned 3 decades prior. Question. Do you think it's more of him being like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, is it, do you feel bad for him because what happened, or do you just feel like that's life, like that's the game, like that's the game you signed up to play? You know what I mean? Like, do you feel bad for him? Like, this is a dude who gave everything for Kaiser, but like at the same time,
feel bad for him.
That's everything Kaiser ever did. Fail me? Like, what's the thing that the commanding officer of a set of legionaries, Kaiser would order 10% of his troop to murder the dude in charge. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, that's, you know what you're getting into. Like, you need to have 100% success rate.
If he didn't want to get tarred and feathered and burned and thrown into the Grand Canyon, he shouldn't have failed so bad at Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
If you're going to play the game, you got to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
Or he should have chosen to do something different with his life. Go into a different career path. Like maybe being like a trader or, I don't know.
Or going back to New Canaan.
Go back to New Canaan and read books and shit. I don't know. Like, don't just like go and be the second in command to like the new hot, fresh wasteland Hitler.
Wasteland Hitler. I would say we should name the episode Wasteland Hitler.
The new hot, fresh Wasteland Hitler.
Dude, the channel would get nuked.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Their acceptance the acceptance from the people of New Canaan rekindled Graham's faith in God. And this was to nurture the flame burning inside him, whether it illuminates or destroys. The destruction of New Canaan and war with the White Legs have done little to help Graham come to terms with his paths. Instead, it has fueled his drive to aggressively fight back against his enemies, as well as act on the worst impulses he developed during his time with the Legion. His thirst for vengeance and extermination put him at odds with Daniel, who fears what the long-term consequences of stoking this kind of flame could be. Graham unwittingly creates a war cult not too dissimilar from the Legion, clothed in the guise of Christian faith, but entirely devoid of its principles. Now, I recently on stream had done Honest Hearts all the way through, and the dead horses are very kind of, they're babies. Like, and I don't mean that in like,
they're really not that like advanced.
They don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
And there's like times when you play this when you go through that where you like watch the dead horses lose their innocence. Like, they kill a man and then, like, continue to beat his dead body on the ground. And that's what's so, like, at the end of it, it's like...
You got it, dude. You got him.
Yeah, but it's like, did you help? them by making them more ready to kill?
Like ruthless killers, yeah.
Or did you hurt them? Did you take away their innocence? Despite his former allegiance to Caesar's legion, the Burned Man does not hold any ill will towards any allies of the NCR. To him, NCR is still redeemable in his eyes. That's an awfully worded sentence.
Yeah.
Stating that the greed of man is what led to the Great War, and that only through faith in God, prayer, and genuine acts of kindness can humanity hope to prevent history from repeating itself.
Which is like that's like a decent outlook.
Everything outside of bringing God into it, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Let people.
If you believing in God makes you a better person, great.
But like, don't force your God, let alone any other God, down somebody else's throat.
Yeah.
He also has a dim opinion on Mr. House, seeing him as another Caesar, a man who rallied together his own set of tribes using his own methods to assure domination over others, which is fascinating.
I never really
to think
thought
about.
of it like that.
He took 3 tribes. He took the Boot Riders, and I don't think the other ones are actually given names, the Gamoras or the White Gloves. And if they are, I'm not sure.
I don't remember, but like House did that 3 times.
Caesar
did that like 68 times. So like, who's calling it's the pot calling the kettle black.
86 reformed tribes. By 2281, he had 86 tribes. I don't know why I thought 70 something.
I wonder if one of them was called Quest.
What's the best tribe album?
Midnight Marauders.
Right, Low End Theory. His hatred towards the Legion stems not just from the fact that he was made an example by Caesar, but also Caesar's belief that he alone will unite the wasteland under the Legion's banner, and his refusal to let anything stop him. Ultimately, his greatest enmity, which is just another fancy word for hostility, is for himself. For letting himself get swept up in Caesar's rise to power, for falling in line as his legate, and for willfully perpetrating the inhumane atrocities that helped establish his rule. What he believed... What's up?
I'm sorry I killed so many people.
My bad. What he believed may have been the start of a society of equals under one banner has become a totalitarian culture dominated by one man.
One man.
One desire.
This summer, one man.
Graham is essential.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But, like, no one's really essential when you play PC.
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to read here. We're not even going to go into Van Buren, but then he was referred to as the Hanged Man. There's actually a really great TKS Mantis video about the original Graham.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Joshua Graham, along with, these are some fun fact notes on the wiki, along with Calhoun and Caesar, appear on the back of the Legion Denarius. Despite claiming that he accepts all forms of currency in his word, even Legion coins, you cannot sell Legion Denarii to him.
Oh, that's funny.
It's the glitch, yeah.
Yeah.
Even when he was the legate of Caesar's Legion, Joshua Graham always wore the SLC. I actually want to know more about this. I want to know more about his armor. The SLCPD armor. So some police force. Oh, this is the police from, fuck 12, from Denver, I'm pretty sure. No, it's not. It's from Salt Lake City.
That would make sense.
The personal armor of Joshua Graham. The armor consisted of a white-collared shirt with rolled-up sleeves, embroidered with dead horse tribal markings, heavily patched and stitched blue jeans with a hole in the left knee, a snakeskin belt and magazine pouches, in a pre-war Salt Lake City Police Department SWAT ballistic vest. Additional armor has been a sleeve garter, Additionally, the armor has a sleeve garter on the strong firing hand to ensure the sleeve doesn't distract the user. Completing the outfit is a pair of boots and a belt made from rattleskin snake. So it's from Salt Lake City. Cool.
SLC, baby.
Yeah, why the fuck did I think that was Denver? Whatever. When first entering dialogue with Graham, he will refer to the player character as the courier he didn't expect.
Can I have that in Graham's voice, please?
What? The courier he didn't expect?
Yeah.
Okay. The courier. Wait, no, hold on. That's fucking Ulysses' voice. Now, hold on. I gotta hear Graham's voice to do it. Give me 1 second. When first entering dialogue with Graham, he referred to the player character as not the courier I was expecting. And then go on to say, then again, he wouldn't have come to the cavern. This implication is that he expects Ulysses, rather than the player character, to come and attempt to assassinate him, adding evidence of Ulysses' alliance with Caesar's legion. Similar to Father Elijah and his holographic avatar image, Graham has a slightly different in-game appearance when compared to the Honest Hearts cover art in the game. He has pale blue eyes instead of bright blue eyes, and his burned skin is grayer around said eyes. Huh.
I like the one that says, Joshua is one of 2 characters in New Vegas that possess an irremovable mask, the other being Ulysses.
Wow. Despite being severely burnt in the past, when his mask is removed, there is no severe burn marks, and his face is just a default raider.
Face.
This is a result of engine limitations, similar to Lanius' face being whole. Huh. So, it doesn't say it here, but there's a thing that once you let him go, and he kind of like does what he does at the end of Honest Hearts, there's a way that you can talk to him. He goes, if you run into that other courier, don't tell him about me, like, pretty much. Like, he's like, don't say that this ever happened.
Yeah, don't tell Ulysses on me.
I don't enjoy killing, but when done righteously, it's just a chore, like any other. Fucking crazy. Crazy. We are made and kept covenants with our Lord God to honor his laws. In exchange, we are promised eternal salvation in this life, after this life. When I was streaming this, I kind of, I was like, yeah, let me just say that I don't believe him, and then I'll be a doubting Thomas. I know he's not going to refer to me as Thomas. And then, like, he's like, you may not believe me now. I'm becoming Morgan Freeman. You may not believe me now, courier. But you may be a Thomas, and I shall show. And I was like, holy shit, like, that happened?
Wow.
Like, my little bit that I remember of, like, fucking Catholic school helped me?
You got it.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept. When we remembered Zion, O Lord, the children of Edom. And in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. How happy shall he be, the rewith thee of thou hast served us. Happy shall he be, that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. There's something about adding religion to a character that makes them so deep to me. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. He's voiced by a man named...
I'm 14 and this is deep.
Fuck you. He's voiced by a man named Keith Szarbinskaja. S-Z-A...
Great attempt.
Thanks. Are you making fun of me?
A little bit.
I'm
just poking fun.
It's fun. I don't know how to read Polish names. I think it's Polish. It's
pronounced Zarabashka.
Zarabashka?
Yep.
Is that Russian or Polish?
It is Slavic in nature.
So, am I right or wrong?
Not Polish.
Okay, cool. So,
I got really good at learning Slavic names and pronunciations from being in Croatia.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite bad guy. I don't even know if he's considered a bad guy, really. I mean, he's a bad guy, but like...
Well, yeah, he's a bad guy, but he's not like the villain.
Oh, actually, let's do this quick. Let's just read some behind-the-scenes developer notes type things real quick.
Oh,
there's some good stuff. We're not going to get into everything, but we're going to just read some stuff quick because we're very deep into this, and we still have other things to talk about. We're already
we're already over an hour into this.
I mean, I'm going to have to do editing and whatnot, but still.
Yeah.
A malpass is a landform characterized by eroding rock of volcanic origin in an arid environment.
Mm-hmm.
This describes many areas, but is strongly connected with the southwest United States because of the Spanish settlers that gave the landform its name Malpais, meaning badlands in Spanish. Joshua Graham states that he and the Dead Horses use a .45 auto pistol because his actual descendants, he actually descends from its creator's tribe, implied to be the Mormons. Furthermore, the real-life reference to the .45 pistol is the M1911 pistol, which was created by John Browning, a Mormon firearms maker who lived in Ogden, Utah, close to where New Canaan would be in the Fallout universe. Holy shit! How did you say this guy's name? Keith Serbajak?
Let me scroll back up. Zarabashka.
Keith Zarabashka almost passed on the voice of Graham because one of the designers involved in the first round of casting suggested removing him from the pool. According to Josh Sawyer, say his name again, please.
Keith Zarabashka.
Submission was given on a cell phone on a windy day and he had a cold. However, Sawyer decided to keep him in the running for the role of Graham, which he considers one of the best decisions he made on the project. Wow. That's it, dude. That's fucking one of my favorite characters in the entire series.
He's really dope.
Look
at the screenshot of him mid melee. He looks like he's about to do a barrel roll.
Where's that?
In this little screenshot area.
You're a little screenshot. Who's my little screenshot? That's Graham.
That's Graham. That's Graham Cracker.